Hello, hello, and welcome. So today I am coming to you with the bonus class for March, which is the Layered Florals Embossing Folder. And I know it's probably kind of hard to see it, and I should have grabbed a darker color. Well, you're going to all see it because you already have it and you got something else, or you're going to get it. But yeah, this is what it looks like. So we are going to go ahead and jump right in. So we will be using, besides Memento, Misty Moonlight, Lemon Lolly, and Whisper White. And then I'm using some Stampin' Blends, the Tahitian Tide, and the Lemon Lolly. And we're going to use a couple sponge daubers. And we are also using the brayer, or any brayer you have if you don't have this one. Anyway, we are going to go ahead and jump right in and get going here. So in your packet, you should have, I always say should because you never know, I could have made a mistake. But it's always good that I have the same packet. Now, when you pull everything out, each packet is going to have some kind of little bling, so make sure you don't lose that. This one has a little tiny iridescent gem, or whatever, iridescent pearl, what were those called? Iridescent rhinestone that I use. So I'm going to plop it right there. I did color it with, in this case, Misty Moonlight. I'll have to make sure I pull that Stampin' Blend out, or you could put it on clear. You have some white linen thread, and you have your die cut parts and pieces already, and this piece we're going to layer here. This is our inside, and of course you have your envelope. Okay, I'm going to set most of this aside. Here's our first card. And I saw this several times all over the place, but and some people use Night of Navy. You can use any dark color to do this with, but I just thought it was stunning on its own just to use, like I said, any dark color. Like this Starry Sky would work. Excuse me, Night of Navy would work. You know, like probably Blueberry Bushel. Blackberry Bliss would work. There's a lot of darker colors that this would just pop out on. That would be stunning to do this little technique. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. What we're going to do is put this piece here in, and remember the front of the folder is always the one where you see the Stampin' Up! Logo. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that's straight. And I'm going to bring in my machine here, and I have it right here. And I know you're not going to be able to see everything on the machine, but because it doesn't all fit, I'm going to turn it. I need to clean my machine. I'm going to kind of turn it like this, just so I can crank at the same time. Okay, we're going to put in plate number 1. We're going to put our embossing folder in. I do want to make sure it's straight. And if you do want to use, we do have this little line here that helps make sure it is straight. You can look at your patterns here to see what you want. Like if you want more of up this direction, kind of the sky's the limit on what you want to do. I think I'm going to go about like this. I'm going to close it up. We're going to put this down and then plate number 4 on top. Okay. And then we're going to crank it through. And it should go through very easy. And then I'm going to reverse it and just come back out the other end just so I get a nice, good, deep impression. Because I want that deep impression on there. Okay. I'm going to put this back here because we're going to be using it every time. I put a piece down because I know I'm going to be using the brayer and so many other things that I put a piece of blotter paper down this time. Okay, so when we open it up, then we have this, which is stunning on its own, just like this. I think you can probably see the deep impressions. Like this is a 3D embossing folder, so you get really good impression with this. But we're going to pop it up a little bit. We're going to take it up a notch, as wasn't it Emerald Lagasse that used to say, kick it up a notch? Now, all I did is I took a sponge dauber and our Whisper White pad, or basic white pad. What is it actually? Yeah, Whisper White pad, yeah. And I am going to just run the dauber over the larger flowers. Now you could do the little daisies. You could do all of it if you wanted to. I just chose to use the larger flowers. to do this, but you can do it however you want. And yes, you might get a little bit, you know, in between or on the sides. It's okay. It's all good. That doesn't matter. Let me come over here and do this one. I'm going to do this one that's kind of off the edge. And each time you do this, it's going to look different because it'll depend on where you lay this out or where you lay it on top of the embossing folder. So you could do this 10 times and have 10 different looking cards. Unless you got really good at laying it in the exact same place. Which, why would you want to do that? It's a big embossing folder, so you have lots of options of where to do this. And you could always cut, now this piece is already cut 3 3/4 by 5, but you could cut it bigger and then have a strip to use for your inside, which we will do on the next one because we're using watercolor paper. So we're going to cut that down afterwards, but I didn't do it on this one. I should have. I didn't really think about that till right now. Anyway, okay. That's it. I mean, wasn't that easy peasy? I'm going to close this up and set that aside. Now I'm going to bring in, I used the happy birthday out of the circle sayings. Like you could use happy birthday, you could use thank you. I think this time I'm going to pull in the thank you. I love these little phrases in this set right here. This has been one of my, I guess you could say, go-to ones that I really like. I think it has just a lot of nice phrases in there that you can use. Okay, and I used Misty Moonlight. We're going to take our little circle. And I'm just going to stamp that thank you right there. Close that up. And that'll go on there. So we'll go ahead and attach this to this, just like that. And then we're pretty much going to start doing some assembly. Okay. I've been leaving, for those of you that have watched some of my videos and or are in monthly club and stuff, I leave my card front flat. I feel like it's easier to kind of line things up instead of trying to deal with it kind of wanting to not lay flat when you've already done that score line. I use, my paper keeps moving. I use mono glue because this is a very deep 3D embossing folder. If you use, you know, Stamp and Seal or Stamp and Seal Plus or whatever your favorite adhesive is, just make sure you put enough on there that it's going to get in those little grooves and going to be on and get around the edges too, because like I said, it is a really deep embossing folder. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and add my adhesive around here. I like the Stamp and Seal Plus myself. Hopefully this doesn't run out because I don't think I have a refill right here. Now you see I got a little speckles from this bleeding off on it, so keep that in mind. You may not want to fold it over on top of your card base like I just did, but okay, easy peasy. But you have so many options with this embossing folder. I think it would work really good for a background kind of thing on, you know, with a big bold word on it or something like that. I just took this linen thread, kind of did my little twisty thing, and you can, you know, have it end up wherever you want it to be. I'm going to trim this one off just a little bit. And then, of course, dimensionals on the back here. And we'll just put a few of these around here. Probably put one. Actually, I'll probably put two in the center, one on each side of the, and I always say more, I put more dimensionals on than most people probably do, because what do I always say? You don't want it to be saggy. Okay. There's that. Let's pull these off. And let's see, this time, I think I'm going to kind of put it right here, because then we can still see all of these flowers. I like it like that. And our little blingity bling.
Hey, sexy bit.
My little blingity bling. I think I'm going to go ahead and pull in the Misty Moonlight. And we're going to color that. So I'm going to do the dark. Sorry, that was Drew that just came in. He always has, you probably heard him in the background. Yeah, see, my Misty Moonlight Dark, this tip has been used a lot. So let's see if we can color it with this one. And I have to say, some of these color really good and some don't as color, some do not color as nice, but I'm going to try it here. And if I don't like it, you can always keep it clear. It's got a little bit of color on it. There we go. Get that little plastic thing out of the way. And then we're going to go ahead and I flip it and I'm going to add this. Now, I didn't decorate the inside because it's kind of hard with some of this. Now, I didn't try it, but you might be able to like emboss a portion of this if you wanted. Or like I said, if you wanted to cut your front piece a little bit bigger, you could, and then you could add a piece, which we'll do on the next card. But this one I did not do that on. Okay, and then I go ahead and fold it. And there we go. There's our first card. I like it. What do you think? Pretty darn cool. Now, what you could also do with your envelope, this you definitely could run through and you could emboss the envelope. So I'll pull this envelope in when we bring the embossing folder in a minute, and we'll emboss that envelope. You could emboss every one of the envelopes if you wanted to. Oh, I can't talk today. Okay, project number 2. Now, I kind of came up with this idea when I was we did a stamp and craft and like catch-up day a few weeks ago, and I did lots of colors. And then I also showed this on a Facebook Live. Oh, I know what I did wrong. So I cut basic white for this, but I actually used watercolor paper. So I'm going to grab a piece of watercolor paper, and you will have watercolor paper in your packet because it hasn't gone out in the mail yet. So I'm going to bring in a piece of watercolor paper. So you'll have both. So I'm going to keep this piece of basic white, whisper white. I'm going to keep this piece of white in there. So you could do both if you wanted, and you can see which one you like better. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to bring in the lemon lolly. And I am going to take the brayer. And I'm not sure what that little dot is on my lemon lolly, but hopefully it doesn't show up. We'll find out very quickly. And when you're using your brayer, you don't want to do this because then you're not getting ink all over. You want to go up. You want to go up, lift, that kind of thing. And then we're going to start brayering. And at this point, it doesn't matter. And I do go both directions. Some people say not to. I'm going to stick my paper down just a little bit so it stops moving. There we go. I love the glass mat, but I knew I would need paper down today. Again, up, lift, roll, lift, however you want to. Oops. And then until you've got what you want. And that little dot right there is probably coming off whatever that was on my ink pad. Not sure what color that is that got dropped in there, but I'm just going to go with it. And this is a really light color, and I probably need to re-ink a little bit, but we're going to make it work. Do you have to ink up the whole thing? Of course not. You want a little bit of texture so that when you emboss it, you get this texture in the background with the watercolor paper and with some of the white, the lemon lolly coming through, because then we're going to sponge daub the areas we want to highlight. But I want a little more on here, and then we'll see. One more time. And like I said, I probably need to re-ink this pen because I've used it a lot doing this kind of thing. Okay, this is my broken one. I did get a new one. I didn't know which one was the new one and which one was the little pin keeps coming out. So if this happens, make sure you let me know, let Stampin' Up! Know. It does slide right back in. And I do have a new one. I just couldn't remember which one was which. I need to mark it so I know that part. And it also could be because I do put a lot of pressure on it. I think we're going to go with it just like that. Okay. I'm going to set that aside because we're going to use it again. Okay. We are going to bring in our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Let's put some things here. Okay. We're going to put our base plate 1 down. We're going to take our piece of watercolor paper. Now, this piece is bigger than what you're going to need. So I usually just shove it all the way in, and we're going to close it. And you're going to have this piece stick out here. You could turn around and run this piece through if you wanted, or cut it off and run it through, you know, because we're going to cut this piece down to be the size we want anyway. So you can use that little extra piece if you want, is what I'm getting at. Turned it backwards. Okay, this way. I'm right-handed, so I crank with the right. All right, we're going to run it through, and then I'm going to back it back up because I want it to be really a deep impression. All right. Let's move this out of the way. My tape didn't hold all the way. Okay. So let's see what the magic is. Now I kind of hold it in place just in case I want to run it back through again, because you never know. But look at that already. Beautiful. And that's why I say you could take this piece when we trim it off and run it back through. Excuse me. To use, but you're going to have enough to cut this down to still use a strip for the inside. Okay, now we're going to bring that lemon lolly back in. We're going to take a sponge dauber just like we did last time. And you could cut it down first if you want, or you can just work with the whole thing. I'm going to go ahead and work with the whole thing. And this sponge dauber, worn out. I have noticed that I have quite a few, I'm just bringing a new one, that I've used so much that they're done. And that's okay, it happens. So I just toss them. And now we're kind of doing the same thing. We're just highlighting. And again, I'm doing the bigger flowers. You could do the little daisies if you wanted. You could do the whole thing if you want. And you could pull in another color. You could do the daisies a blue if you wanted to, you know, the Tahitian Tide or the Misty Moonlight, you know, whatever color you want. And I'll show you some other samples of these colors, just in case you missed when I did the Facebook Live. And as you see, I have a couple holes here on my ink pad. I have no idea what got put on there that it caused that, but something. But then my stuff is used in classes and stuff, so who knows? I don't dwell on it. I don't worry about it. The pad is still usable. That's all that matters. Okay. Keep going around. And again, you might get some residual coming off on the edges. I don't care because we already have that lemon lolly background going on there. Okay. Couple more here to do. Yeah, I should have inked up my ink pad before I started. It's been a whirlwind of a week here. I came back from on stage on Sunday, and I have been playing catch up ever since. I've had team meeting. I've had other meetings for other events. I mean, it has been a very busy week, and I have everything ready, but I got to meet Cheryl today, so I'm going to give her hers today. That's why I'm trying to get one video done, and I'll get the other video done later today. So I'll be getting caught up. But yeah, it's been a busy week on trying to get everything done, along with many other things going on. Okay, so to bring in our card, here's our card. So we want this front piece 3 3/4 by 5. So let me bring in my paper trimmer. And I'm going to cut the 3 3/4 first, because I want a long strip here. And I'm trying to look here how I want to do this. Do I want to cut a little bit off? No, I think I'm okay doing it. I think that edge is fine. Just look at both edges to make sure what you want there. Okay. So there's our 3 3/4. And then I'm going to cut, because that is like where it was shoved all the way up to the top. So I'm just going to cut a little bit off right there. And then I'm going to do my 5 from here. So you still end up with another little piece here. I got to move my blades around. I took my paper trimmer with me to Houston, and one of them popped out. The scoring blade popped out. And when I put it back in, I didn't put it in like I like it. I like the scoring blade to kind of stay at the bottom and my trimmer part up there. Okay, so there's our beautiful piece. Isn't that awesome? And again, the same like the other one, you could do any color combination here. And I'm going to show you a few others I did. I mean, this is like any color you want. Okay, so we are going to bring in, so I used the black and white checkered ribbon, which by the way is going to be retiring. Yeah, sad day when things start retiring. We're going to layer this on this, and then it'll go on our card front. Okay, I use the Congrats, which is from the Phrases for All. I pulled in this stamp set. Let's pull this one out. I forgot to get all my phrases out before I started. That's why I'm still like pulling them out. And I use the Memento to stamp this one in. I want to make sure right in the center there. Okay, there's that. Now let's go ahead and layer this onto our die cut piece that I cut out of the center of the basic black. I got ink on my fingernail already. My hands are really dry and I just put lotion on. And then let's go ahead and get our layers going, and then we'll attach our ribbon and attach that to the front. So again, I am going to use mono glue to put this down, or the green glue, or multi-purpose glue, whatever you refer to it as, or whatever your favorite glue is. And yeah, I took the crooked one. I tried to cut the other one straight. It moved on me, but it was still usable, so I wasn't going to worry about it. Now, I just put glue right there all over my piece of paper. So I'm going to lay this down right here to soak up that glue a little bit so that I don't get sticky all over everything else, because I'm going to have to turn that over. You guys all see what I did there because of that hole? Keep that in mind. Once it dries, it'll be fine, but I just don't want to get it on my card right now. No, just ran out of adhesive. Let's see if I have another one right here. Of course not, because I think I took it with me. Okay, 2 seconds here. Quick change. At least they're really easy to get going. As long as you know what you're doing. I really need to wash this. They do build up, you know, residue all the way around it, and I just take them apart. You can clean them with rubbing alcohol works, you know, Dawn dish soap, whatever your favorite, but pretty much anything will help get it clean. Okay. Let's put that on there like that. And then we're going to add some adhesive to the back here. And then I just did the like, now you can put your ribbon on any way you want. And you should have plenty to do as many loops as you want. I'm going to do it like that. Okay. And then some dimensionals. I grabbed the big ones this time because this piece is a little bit bigger. And I felt like the small ones would have taken me too long. Excuse me. Okay. Well, come on, Debbie, you can do this. Oops. Fingers don't want to work today. And then you can decide where you want to put this. Up, down. I'm going to kind of go to in the middle. Okay, there's that piece. Now, you're going to get, oh, I forgot what these are called. I originally used the in color little dots, and I didn't have very many left. Forgot to order some. Well, I had one pack here, but I didn't think it was going to be enough. That's no, these aren't in color. Sorry, these were the adhesive back solid gems. But then I pulled out the opaque ovals. I thought these would be cute because we had some lemon lolly in here. I've been also trying to use up some of my bling packages that are not going to be coming back. So that was another reason. So let's go ahead and put these, because these work too. I think I'll do it up here. There we go. Just like that. Now I'm going to bring my paper trimmer back in here, slide this over. We want a piece that will fit on here, which this is 4 by 5 1/4. I'm going to put it long wide, the 5 1/4 length. I want to trim off this little bit right here. And I like a skinny little, so I'm just going to go 1/2 inch. But if you like it thicker, of course you can use whatever size you want. And I'm going to cut it a little bit longer than that, and then I'll trim it, because that way I'm not cutting it too short. That would be Cooper out there barking, if you can hear that. Dogs are outside running around today. And again, I'm using mono glue here. And so I don't get glue everywhere again. Bring in my silicone mat. I think he's barking because he wants in, actually. Maybe not. He's out there playing with Milo, so who knows? Dogs will be dogs. Okay. These are kind of my ooey gooey scissors that I cut dimensionals with, and since I know I have lots of glue right there. Okay. Pretty. Wouldn't that just add to the inside? And then we're going to add some adhesive here. Again, Debbie, don't push so hard. So today's actually Friday. Can't believe, yay, TGIF. Hopefully everybody has lots of exciting plans for the weekend. I have a little bit hanging off right here too. It's going to be a rainy weekend here, so for those of you that are in Washington State. All right. This is going to go right here. Okay, so I used the wrong one. This is the piece that was cut for the front. It's still going to work. I'm not going to worry about it. As you see, it still works. This piece was actually the 4 by 5 1/4, because remember, you have a 3 3/4 by 5 piece that I cut for the front, but you're also going to get a piece of watercolor paper stuck in there because I'm going to go back because I haven't shipped everything out yet. That's on my to-do list for today to get it all ready to ship. Okay, there you go. Woohoo! I just love it. I love what you can do just with that embossing folder. You realize how many cards you could make in a matter of minutes using this embossing folder? Okay, project number 3. Okay, we're using Tahitian Tide as our base. Here's this one. And I can't remember her name, but you'll see it on the PDF that inspired me to do this one, and I can't remember it. And it's, a lot of people have done stuff with it. Just a sec here, and let me pull it up. It was inspired by Terry Gaines. And I just thought the way that turned out. Now, she colored hers a little bit different, but I like how this time I accented the daisies. So, all right. So what we're going to do is, I have to remember how to do this one because it is totally different. We're going to bring in our embossing folder. And again, we're, decide where you want to put it. What flowers. Hang on, I had, probably was dog hair, but hard to say. Okay, I'm going to put it kind of like this. Now, we're going to be using the debossed side when we go to do what we're going to do with this. But either way, you're still lining it up straight. It doesn't really matter how you put it in with this side up, this side down. It doesn't really matter because we're just going to flip it and use the other side. Okay, we're going to bring in our machine here. Base plate down. Folder in. Plate number 4 on top. Embossing folder's in the middle, and we're going to go up and back again. So we get that deep impression with this folder. Okay. Set this back here on my chair. Take these out. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to get a little bit of that lemon lolly showing through, and if I do, it's okay, because I did not wipe it off. Yeah, very faint. I can see some color, but not enough to worry about, because we're going to, and this is the back side, so we don't care. We're going to use this side. Okay, so what we're going to do here, and I'm going to take lemon lolly, and this is the light lemon lolly, and I'm going to take Tahitian Tide, and I think I did the dark, but I have them both here. And what we're going to do first is color. Now remember, we're on the debossed side, so this is where it's indented versus the raised sides. So we're flipping it over to what most people would say is the back side of it. And I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to start coloring the inside, and I'm going to do the little daisies again. And I did the inside in yellow. And of course, you could pick any color combo you wanted. I do this in here, just like that. Now, I colored first. I think you could do what we're going to do. I think you can do it either way. I colored all the daisies and stuff first. And a little one hanging off the side there. Oh, another one here. It's kind of hard to tell where some of them are. And I think that's some daisy flowers right there, but no center. Okay. Now we're going to pull in our Tahitian Tide. Yeah, I'm going to go with the dark. And I'm just going to start right here. And it's a quick color because, you know, with the alcohol markers, it spreads as soon as you touch it. And these look like a little bit of the daisy flower too. So let's go ahead and get those two. Oops, got a little carried away there, but that's okay. I drank tea this morning and my hand's a little shaky here. Guess I had a little bit too much green tea this morning. Whew. Okay. Doesn't happen to me very often, but sometimes, and hopefully you can't see the top of my head. I just realized that my hair's wet. So I can say that to all of you because I know all of you that are in this, that will be watching this. Okay, you just keep coloring away. I should have had one already done so you didn't have to watch me color, especially since I'm so shaky this morning. We just keep coloring these. It goes fast, but probably didn't need to watch me color all of these little daisies in. Anyway, I hope everybody has awesome plans for their weekend, even though it is going to be a rainy weekend. I know it was really nice last weekend, I heard, and I was in Texas where it was in Houston, pouring down rain a couple days. Of course, we were inside anyway, but we did get stuck in a torrential downpour trying to get from the convention center to our hotel. Even though we did cut through the Hilton, we still got soaked. I mean, we were like drenched rats. But we had a great time while we were there, so. Okay. Keep coloring away. And almost done. Yeah, I bumped there. Don't judge my coloring today, like I said. I'm not a coffee drinker, but I do like to drink my tea, and I guess today maybe I had too much. Okay. Let's see. Retired list comes out soon here. Well, actually it's out. I just haven't posted it yet. So you'll be able to see what's retiring, what's going away, what few items are on sale. Just remember, in colors are definitely going away, and we're going to get new in colors. So always keep that in mind. If you haven't bought the refills, like for the in color, the 2022 to 2024 in colors, they are going away. We have some beautiful new in colors coming in. I would give you the names, but I can't even remember. Pretty in Pink is one of them. because that's one that's coming back from before, which I don't even remember it, so it had to be a really long time ago. Shy Shamrock is one. So I'm trying to remember them. Can't remember the rest. But don't worry, I will be posting them all here really soon with all the new ink colors. I will do an ink color club again, and anybody that's in my monthly club will, of course, get a, I'm going to do a better deal for everybody in monthly club. So, okay, I think I got them all with a few little faux pas there. Well, this looks like it might be part of a daisy, so let's go ahead and color that one. That little bit there. We're going to call it good. Now, here's where we're going to see if Debbie knows what she's doing and if she did it correctly. Because I tried to like refresh my memory yesterday. I could practice on a little piece right here, but I'm just going to go for the gusto. You're going to take your Memento pad and you're going to keep it flat. And then what you're going to do is just start going over the top of this like this. And you're going to see the magic happen. Now, if you press too hard, you might get ink in places you don't want it. But for the most part, you're going to cover the raised area with the Memento, and everything you colored is going to be safe. Now, isn't that awesome? Now, I don't know if Terry Gaines came up with this idea on her own or if somebody else did, but this was a great tip and a great idea to do with some of these embossing folders. And you can do as little or as much. You know, I'm going to turn my pad just a little bit. And I don't want to press too much. I know it's a little bit lighter there and a little bit lighter over here, but I'm going to kind of leave it just like that. But isn't that awesome what you can do with that? Now, her card, she colored, I think, everything, or maybe she colored the big ones. I can't remember. But I chose to do the daisies because I wanted something a little bit different, and I wanted to highlight them versus highlighting the, whatever these flowers are. I don't even know. And I have a couple little spots where I missed coloring, and you could go back and fix those if you want. I'm not going to because I feel like it just adds a little bit more dimension to it. And now what we're going to do is like assemble, and look at the cute little card you get. Okay. Again, you can make so many of these in so many different color combinations. Sky's the limit. We are going to stamp the For You, and I guess I stamped it in Tahitian Tide. You could stamp it in Memento if you wanted to also. You wouldn't have to use. And that's from the Heartfelt Hexagons. So let me grab a block. And actually, maybe this one I'll do in the Memento just to do it a little bit different. Why not, right? Sky's the limit. Okay, there's that. Now let's go ahead and we're going to start doing some assembly here. So we're going to put that on here, just like that. And I'm going to add some adhesive, even though we are going to attach it with mono glue, but I'm going to add some adhesive first because I want to put my ribbon down. So you have a piece of this Lemon Lolly, and this comes in a combo pack with Bubble Bath, Lemon Lolly, and Tahitian Tide, I think it is, which is going away. So if you really like these colors, you might want to stock up on this roll of ribbon. This one is not carrying over. Or this roll of ribbon is not carrying over. Or combo pack of ribbon, I should say. I can't even talk today. Okay. So now I am going to add a little bit of glue also just to cover some areas that might not stick. And we're going to add that to the... Now remember, you have blank real estate here. If you want to die cut something out of the center of that, feel free to do that. I was using the double oval punch, which by the way is retiring. So sad. That's a go-to punch for me, but okay. Pushing really hard just to make sure it's sticking. Now let's bring in, yeah, just wanted to make sure I wasn't picking up any residual. Let's bring in our Tahitian Tide card base. Now Tahitian Tide is one of the colors going away, which is actually one of my favorites out of that set of in colors. Tahitian Tide and the Parakeet Party were always my two favorites out of there. But they're gonna go. All right. We're gonna put that down right there, just like that. We're gonna take the other piece of ribbon. My hands are like getting really sticky and lots of ink on them today. Okay. We're going to put this like this. Trim that off. Again, dimensionals. Oh, here, let's just grab a couple big ones. I'll put a little one in the middle. There we go. Do a little bit of both. Okay, you see what I just did? I will have to fix that. So don't lay anything down on top of this until it's dry. It added a little bit of splatter to the background there. Probably not what we intended. I'm going to go ahead and put it on for now, but I may be replacing that little cover. So I probably won't put my bling on it right this second. But in your packet, you have 3 little blings, and you can color these with Tahitian Tide. You can keep them clear, you know, however you want to do it. I'm going to go ahead and that's because of the residual of this from behind here. It's just not dry yet. So keep that in mind when you flip that over. Didn't have that happen before. You know, don't have your card front underneath like that. And here's my inside piece. And again, bone folder. And there we go. I mean, it's not terrible, but I will replace that. And then we'll add some bling to it. So I'm going to kind of move this bling aside so it doesn't get lost. But you get the idea. And I actually like the words being stamped in black or the Tahitian Tide. Either one of them works. But isn't that just stunning how you can do that with the background? Now, to get this from not smearing anymore, just take the heat gun to it and set it. And it will also dry. It's just it wasn't dry yet. So when I flipped that over on top of there, I picked up residual from that. So, okay. Last but not least, we are going to do this card. Now, this one is a typical, we're going to ink up the embossing folder with Misty Moonlight and then run it through, and you just have this very simple background. Again, any color combination would work here. So, and again, you have your bling. Don't lose your bling. Anything will work. You're going to use a 4 by 5 1/4 piece. Now, I'm going to bring in my other brayer because I didn't wash that one yet. So I guess it's good. I'm still using 2 brayers here, even though one I need to try and fix. We want to ink up, Stampin' Up! Emblem is here. We want to open it up and we want to ink up this side of it. Now, if you wanted, you can ink up both sides and pick which one you want to use. There's no right or wrong, honestly. Again, up and back, up, lift, up, lift, up, lift. Keep going. Move your brayer from side to side. You know, don't do this. And with the blue, you can see where you're getting ink on it. Okay, and then we're going to start putting it on here like this. Now, could you go direct to this? Yes. I think I'm doing this right. Let's hope so, or I'll be backing up and doing it different. This is what happens when you haven't done it for a while. Actually, I think I'm doing it backwards. See, Debbie. Let's pull in a piece of scrap paper here. I'm just going to try something really quick as to what's going to happen, just so I know I'm telling you the right thing. Oh, I got it right. I thought I did, but for some reason I was doubting myself. Don't you hate when you do that? Okay. Ink it up really good. And like I said, you could do the direct to ink pad. Just don't push too hard. Okay. So I got my finger in it. And if you end up with some over there, it's not going to matter. It's going to be on the back side of it anyway. I just do the whole thing. And here, I'll even show you what the back side will look like. Or at least some of it. And again, I'm not pushing very hard. We're just going to do both. What the heck? Sky's the limit here. Here's my piece. Now, once you lay it down, you're committed, especially since I inked up that side too, which I didn't need to. Okay. We're committed. Because once it's down, you can't move it around because you've got ink on there. Okay, plate 1. Embossing folder with paper inside, ready to go. And let's see what's going to happen here if Debbie did it correctly. And if not, we will do it again. Oh, I didn't back it up out of there. I just pulled it, so I'm going to run it through again. Just to make sure we get a nice, good impression. I like to come back with it, which I didn't that first time. Okay, so now it should be really good. Okay, this out of the way. And let's see what we got going on here. Are you ready? Da, 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 da. Now, I got a little bit more in places like this. That's from putting the ink pad down. I can guarantee you, because the first one I did not have any of that, using just the roller. But I'm okay with that. And then here's what the backside looks like, which it does not look as good. So I'm okay with these little spots. It doesn't bother me. If that does bother you, do not use the ink pad to do it. Just use the roller, because that just meant I was pushing a little too hard. Now, I did this one last because you see why. It's got ink everywhere. All I'm going to do is go run this through the sink, set it there to dry, and it'll be all shiny, clean, and ready to use again. I didn't want to do that first, or I would have had to have dried it. I can't talk today. And it would have probably taken longer to continue. Okay, so here's our card. And we've got a little banner and the Misty Moonlight ribbon. So what we're going to do, I'm going to stamp the hello there. And that is from the Around the Bend. I just like that little phrase right there. I also like this one. This one just wanted to say thanks, but I already did a thank you one. So we'll just do the hello there. Pull that out. Bring a block in. And I stamped it in Misty Moonlight. Make sure we're straight. And then my brayer's off here to my right, and I just put my sleeve into it, but it's okay, it'll wash out. Okay. Whoops. There we go. There's that. And again, I colored my little bling with Misty Moonlight Stampin' Blends. So I'm going to bring those in and I'm going to color them really quickly. That's right. I clearly need to get a new one of these because the brush tip is not very good on this dark color. And you can keep them clear if you want. You know, don't feel like you have to color them. And if you don't have the Stampin' Blends and you don't want, oh, I guess that's the one. Well, I was hoping that this other tip would have been better, but I think they're both Clearly, I need to, yeah, I need to get a new set of Misty Moonlight. I've obviously used it a lot. Okay. Slide that up there. Now we're just going to assemble. This is so simple. Again, just think of how many you could do with this. Now, this, you couldn't do them quite as quickly because you have the issue of washing the folder, but you could still do a lot of different color combinations. And I just did this little effect here. And then what I did, because this ribbon is different, I flipped it so that we could do this. Hang on here. Let's make this work so that we're getting the pretty colors of the ribbon. There we go. So I flipped it so you could see all the white because of the way that it's two-sided. And if you have to, you can put another little piece of adhesive here to hold that down. So I flipped it so that we could see all the pretty ribbon. And then I cut these a little bit shorter here. They're a little long. I've been trying to make sure I cut your ribbon pieces long enough that you have enough to work with depending on how you want to put it on. And I might be a little crooked there on that, but I think I'm going to go with it. Maybe. I'm going to straighten it out just a little bit. There. Better. Okay. Let's attach this. Let's bring in our card base, our Misty Moonlight, and attach this. Again, I'm using the mono glue, green glue, multipurpose glue. It's got so many names. And we're just putting that down right there. Give it a good press. And we're putting some dimensionals here. And I'm going to pop one in the middle just in case. Oh, I know where I want a couple. Here, I'll put a couple little ones out here on our little banner part we put underneath because it just gives us a nice little pop. All right. I could be using my Take Your Pick tool here, but I didn't. Okay. I'm going to just plop these like right here in the center, I think. Yep. And now let's bring in our little blingity blings. Try to color your bling, you know, early on so you're not right at the end. Although you're coloring with alcohol-based markers, sometimes it takes it a little bit time to dry and you'll smear them. Flip this over and let's attach our inside piece. Just like that. We don't want that bling plastic there. And there you go. There's project 4. And again, you know, I had a little bit of bleed through from, and I know that's from the ink pad. So if you just use the brayer, you probably won't get that. Does it bother me? No. All right. Let me bring these back in. So here was 3. Here was 2. I love that one. And here is number 1, and I love that one. Now, let's see, over here on my messy desk, here's another one I made that we didn't do. Now, this is vellum, and then I just colored one of those, and I actually highlighted it with Wink Stella, which any of these you could paint with Wink Stella. But it's just very subtle, and it's just so pretty. But I didn't pick that one. And to show you some other colors of this combination, hang on, let me pull them out here in case you missed the Facebook Live where I showed them. Let's see if I can remember. Oh, this is Crushed Curry and Parakeet Party daubing. This one was Pool Party and Pretty Peacock. Very pretty. Lemon Lolly, Lemon Lime Twist, and Pretty Peacock. So I did a variation of 2 different colors there and then daubed it with the Pretty Peacock. This one is Lemon Lime Twist, I think, on watercolor paper. These were on cardstock, basic white. This is on the watercolor paper. I just love the texture of the watercolor paper. Again, same color combo. I don't know why I did 2 the same, but I did. And this bling probably goes right there. Okay. Tahitian Tide. Oh, I know why I have 2 of each, because I did some of these on the Facebook Live. Again, the Tahitian Tide. This one has a little bit of yellow on the background because it bled through, but it still turned out really cute. Misty Moonlight. And these were just some other colors I was playing with and kind of embossing just to see what they would do. I think this one is Pool Party. Highland Heather. And I didn't do anything with these yet. Lost Lagoon. And I don't remember what this one is. I don't have it written down, but I know this is Pretty Peacock here, but some Lemon Lolly and Lost Lagoon and Tahitian Tide back here, but I could have used a different color here. So that just gives you a whole bunch of different samples. I really like doing this technique for this one on the watercolor paper. I feel like it just gives you that little bit of texture with it. So anyway, oh, real quick, I want to show you how it looks with an embossed envelope. So let's, oh no, I won't. Sorry, I forgot to do that part. So try it and share it, because I already got ink on here. Now I can't do it. I was going to do it at the end, but sorry about that. Anyway, hopefully you love all these cards, and I'd love to see what you do with this embossing folder, because I think the sky's the limit on what you can really do with it. So new technique here. Hadn't tried it. Love it. Anyway, hope you guys all have a great day, and I will see you later. Bye, guys.